On today's episode, we're going to talk about ROI and SEO and how you can measure the success of what you are doing or not doing, or things that you are going to be doing if you are taking SEO school. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. As always, before we get into today's episode, I would love to introduce you to the Up in My Business podcast sponsor, Jane. Jane is a clinic management software and EMR with a human touch. Whether you're switching your software or going paperless for the first time, the Jane team knows that the onboarding process can feel a little overwhelming. And that's why with Jane, you don't just get a software, you get an entire team. And that is the whole truth. Included in every Jane subscription is their award-winning customer support available by phone, email, and chat whenever you need it, even Saturdays. You can also book a free account setup consultation to review your account and ensure that you feel confident about going live. And if you'd like some extra advice along the way, you can tap into a lovely community of practitioners, clinic owners, and front desk staff through Jane's community Facebook group. If you're interested in making the switch to Jane, head to jane.app/switch to book a one-on-one demo with a member of their support team. And don't forget, if you mention the code LEX1MO, again, that's LEX1MO at the time of sign up, you'll get a 1-month grace period on your new Jane account. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business with me, Lex Lancaster. I am the host of Up in My Business and the owner of Lex Lancaster Creative Co. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for listening again. I hope you always enjoy the episodes, and if you don't, well, you can always leave a 1-star review. I got one of those once and it made me a little sad, but we move on with life. So feel free to leave the podcast a review though, and send me a DM, send me an email, what have you, about anything that you'd like to hear on the podcast. Today, we're going to be talking all things SEO success and measurement and what have you, and how you can actually measure the ROI on doing SEO work, if you will. But first, we're going to do all the usual things with life and business updates. I think anybody who does follow me on Instagram is probably wondering how my birthday was, how was the surprise, and what happened, and were you surprised, and how'd that, happen, as far as did you actually get surprised or did you know about it? And I'm going to go through it. So I 1010%. So my birthday was Saturday. On Thursday, I usually work a full day on Thursday. And then on Fridays, it's my flex day. So I don't have live calls on Friday. And if I do have scheduled work, it's more or less like I can move it if needed. So I usually have a flex day, and Shanté and I have the same schedule. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are our call days. And then we both are not client facing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So she obviously knows that. And on Thursday morning, she went and took Moose for a walk and came back, and I was cooking breakfast and didn't think anything of anything. And she called me downstairs to the garage, and she just said, "Hey, can you come help me with this?" And I had thought there was a package or, something that needed to be carried in. And standing in the driveway was our dog sitter. And Shanté was like, Moose is going on, she's going to camp. We call it camp. She's going to camp and we're going on a trip. And I was like, you can see the surprise in my face. I genuinely had no idea. I was so surprised, and it was the best trip. So we went to Joshua Tree for a couple nights, relaxed, we didn't really do much work there. We brought our computers just in case, so we didn't really do much there. And we just had a great time. So we went hiking on Friday, and we literally hiked to an oasis. So inside Joshua Tree, there are 6 oases. And it's essentially a section of palm trees in the middle of the desert. And the reason that happens, or how it happens, is because when two fault lines, or where there's a fault line, there is constant water being forced to the surface. So that's how those palm trees survive in that area, because you would think like, how does a palm tree survive in the middle of the desert? That's how. So that's what an oasis is. It's just an area in the middle of the desert that is typically on a fault line, because water is constantly pushed to the surface because of the approximation of the two sides of the fault line. So we hiked to an oasis. It was so pretty and it was just incredible. I love palm trees. Palm trees make me very happy. They always have. And so to hike to them was just so good. And we actually haven't hiked together yet. So I do like hiking. She used to do a lot of hiking as well. And since I've lived here and since we've been together, we haven't gone hiking. So it was the first time we went hiking together and it was just great. It was amazing. Shanté took care of everything. She packed my bag. She packed all of the food that we would need for the house that she rented. She took care of the dog sitter, obviously. It was just, I was completely hands off and so surprised and so thankful, so grateful. And there were so many people who were following along on social media, and it was great to be able to share it as well. It was just a great birthday. Honestly, it was the best birthday and I had so much fun, so thankful, so grateful. And honestly, if you reached out, whether it's DM, comment, like, what have you, I truly appreciate you. And I love that I get to celebrate with so many people every year. I'm just super grateful. So thank you so much. But I feel like that was like the big life update. There was really not much between then and now. I wanted to say my neck. I don't know if I talked about my neck. I can't remember. Anyway, I don't think I did. I got on my SEO school call, my group call last Monday, and my neck was so bad from the day prior at volleyball. So currently I did not do any neck rehab, this past 3 or 4 days. I really didn't. I know I didn't, and I'm owning up to it. But I'm in the middle of neck rehab-ish because I essentially gave myself whiplash when I dove for a ball about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Thought it was gone. It was not gone, and it came back with a vengeance last week. But everything felt good on Wednesday when we played, and then today we didn't play because it was raining and windy this morning. So I don't know how it's going to feel this week. We'll see. But that's really like the big life things. Last week people got a kick out of my nails and wanted to know what color the nail thing was. So I'm going to put a link to the color that I have on. I did go back today because one of the nails chipped. So I'll make sure I put the link to the polish color on there. I knew the number of it, but I didn't know the brand. I didn't know anything. So I will put the link to that in the show notes, which is so funny because I would never picture myself recommending a nail color, but I digress. Okay, so let's talk about business stuff. I did send out a monthly newsletter on the 1st. It always goes out on the 1st, and that's just like a breakdown of the last month of things that have happened, whether it's on the podcast, on Instagram. I recognize that I didn't swap out January for February in a couple spaces on the newsletter, and I was like, oh, that's a facepalm. And also on the end of the newsletter, I had said I was going to go enjoy my birthday on the couch and playing volleyball and whatnot. And I was like, well, that newsletter aged well. But I was very surprised and had no idea. But yeah, so I wrote that on Wednesday. So, obviously I had no idea. But business stuff, I did put a link to, in the past couple episodes, I've put a link to my service brochure in the show notes. And I know that a lot of people are downloading it. I do have a tracker that I can essentially check in on people to see if they wanted to book something, or if they downloaded the brochure and did not book or did not contact me for a discovery call and what have you. So if you did download that, feel free to let me know if you have any questions. If you haven't yet, you can check it out. It's linked in my show notes. It's just a one-stop shop for all of my pricing and packaging and all the things, but currently doing a little bit of a rework, if you will. So that will also be changing. I'm seeing some things that can just be elevated, if you will. So I want to make sure I do that ASAP and get that taken care of. But yeah, really no other big updates other than it's March. I have one more date left in April for one of my Do It in a Days, my tech VIP Do It in a Days. Whether you want a new website, you want an SEO signature start package, you want to get a ton of tech stuff in order. I have one left in April, and then I have 2 in May, 2 in June, and I think 1 in July. And that's the first half of the year. And I do plan on taking potentially November and December off from Do It in a Days. I'm not positive yet, but probably at least December. So if you are looking to book a do-in-a-day, I highly suggest you contact me ASAP. I do have a decent number of discovery calls coming up, so I'm not sure what the schedule will look like. I can't promise anything, but for what it's worth, if you're looking for that, time is a passin'. This week I get to spend time with Emma Jack's Reset crew. So if you're in Emma Jack's Reset, I will see you on Tuesday. I believe it's Tuesday. I will see you on Tuesday to talk all things tech and websites and what have you. Really excited for that. And then everything else just a normal. Oh, and then Friday, this Friday, I'm actually going down to San Diego to hang out with Anna Hartman's crew, Movement Rev. I'm hanging out with her mentorship live event crew and taking photos. So I've done that for Anna for 3 years now. So this will be the third time I've went, and really excited to spend the time with her mentorship crew and also meeting some of my people that I work with monthly in person for the first time. So I have not met everyone that I work with, obviously, because I work with people all over the country, and even outside the country, obviously in Canada as well. And some of them will be there. So I am super excited to be able to hug some of these people that I've worked with for almost, some of them years now. So really excited. All right. I think I can jump into the episode now. I am going to be quick on this one. I'm going to keep it short because it is really a short topic. It's not something that I need to, just beat the horse dead with, if you will. I want to talk about ROI and SEO, and I want to talk about what that means as far as how to measure things, because I know I've talked about this prior, and I know that I've talked about just in general, like how can you tell if SEO stuff, quote unquote, that you're doing is working, or how can you tell that, let's just say, like, how can you determine if you're making the right moves, right? Because I have a whole episode on return on investment and when to start SEO, and that's episode 39. So you can go listen to that one. This one, I really want to focus on just the genuine stats and monetary return, because I also think, obviously once is never. So hearing this stuff once is not necessarily the best option. I would love for you to hear it multiple times. But two, I want you to just get an idea of what it looks like to do quote unquote SEO work, and to understand like the monetary component is not the only thing that we need to look at. Because if you take a look at my episode number, I gotta double check this, episode number 55, I talk about how I approach my free content. And that's where really like SEO work really comes in, and the value of it. So here's the thing. I think when someone looks to spend X amount of dollars on SEO, whether it's done for you or maybe you're joining SEO school, it's great to know that you're going to make that money back. Now, it's very tough to measure exactly how much money you're making with SEO. So I am not the person, unless you're selling and you have a legitimate store, it's very tough to measure the exact amount of money that's coming in because of SEO. The easier thing to see is how much exposure you're getting. So with the technology that we learn, that I teach in SEO school, you're able to see and compare different dates and times to see how many impressions or how much visibility you're getting on Google compared to a different amount of time. So if you work for the next 6 months, you can compare these 6 months to the 6 months prior to that and see what the difference is. So you can actually see how many impressions and how much visibility you have on Google over time. And ideally, obviously, that would increase, right? So with increased visibility, that doesn't always mean more money. And I think that that's one of those things that people don't necessarily grasp onto right away, because we want that to be the case. We want it to be an immediate ROI. But if we think about investing, it's compounding, right? So effort is compounding. And it's the same thing with SEO. And the reason I say this is because I know that we all come from, I have a bottom line to meet. Like that's not lost on me. And it's not lost on me that when you spend money on something, ideally you're not putting yourself in the red by doing so, right? So this is why I value SEO and why the ROI in SEO is great. And we'll jump into Google Ads in a second, or just ads in general in a second. But the biggest thing that I want people to understand is that just because you invest in SEO, you may not see an ROI of increased patient load or increased money right away. I talked about it last week about, real SEO stats by people. And those real SEO stats, those people are telling me that they have increased visibility and increased patients. Sometimes you just get increased visibility because we know that as a consumer, we're typically not going to buy right away from someone, especially if they don't have what we're looking for or content to support the fact that they're good at what they do, right? So the ROI in SEO and getting more visibility, sometimes we really do just want people to start binging our content and learn who we are and how we treat and how we do things. And then eventually they may need our help. But sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes they will say, oh, cool, I know that this person exists now and I can refer them to someone else. Or they share our content with their friend and then now their friend sees our stuff and then their friend reaches out and books. So I think I like to break down the barrier that exists in people's mind about making money off of doing SEO work and just understanding that it's not an immediate ROI. And it's not like you're going to do SEO work today and then you're going to get patients tomorrow. And setting that expectation early and being the person to say, like, that's not how this works is okay with me. And I think that it does, I don't want to say it rubs people the wrong way, but it does put the expectation up that there is work to be done and there is time that needs to pass. And the last thing that I want people to think is that it is this instant thing, because that is just wrong. It's not, it doesn't feel good for me. It doesn't feel good to tell people that and then have them not have results. And I think there are also people in SEO school who have online businesses right now that I know are still working really, really hard to be seen. And the thing is sometimes that's what it is. It's just time, and it's time and time and time and time and content, right? So the biggest thing for ROI, and what I really want people to understand, is that we have to approach it just like any other piece of free content. We want to share every single thing we know and give away the things that we know on our blog, make our blog really easy to find, because that's the only way that someone is going to be able to binge your brain without actually contacting you. Now that on its own is very special because it gives people the autonomy to be able to dive into what you do and how you do it. And it gives you the time freedom that we all kind of want, right? So you're not on the phone with somebody talking about how you treat pelvic health because they already know that you treat pelvic health because they dove into your blog. And that's how they found you in the first place. And they know that you're really good at treating pelvic pain because you gave a whole blog post about it and told client examples about it. So you don't have to go into that on your phone call. And the people who are reading your content, the people who are diving into your website, when they do contact you, they are the people who are ready to book, right? I've spent a half an hour, 45 minutes on a discovery call for the PT clinic I owned. I've done that. And it feels like I don't want to say a convincing game because we're never here to convince people, but it just feels like you're spending a lot of time giving them, making sure that they trust the fact that you can help them. Whereas if you have content on your website, sometimes the ROI on that is just trust. Like, can we actually measure that? No, we can't really measure that. That is a non-measurable stat. It's qualitative data. And anybody will say that, and I'm sure you can remember a time where if you were Googling something and you ended up on somebody's website and you dove into the content all about that thing written by that person, if that person were to tell you, I can help you get rid of this symptom, or I can help you cook this loaf of bread better, you're probably going to trust them because you've already dove into their content, right? So trust, like ROI, an ROI of trust is huge. And that's why you need to approach it like it's free content that is just there to help people and to serve and to get your message out there and to show people exactly what you do, how you do it, how you can help them. And honestly, why they should choose you over someone else. And that's what it comes down to. And I think the competition part is where I get, SEO becomes a little difficult only because we are competing. It's a direct competition. I'm going to beat you out of this spot and so that people see my content before yours. Like it is a competition. That's what it comes down to. And I think the biggest thing in it's not said enough that sales cycles are very long. I mean, I can assure you that most people are not buying right away, especially if it's a cash-based practice and it's a luxury purchase. Like, I can think of people who are like, I do performance care and I can help you run faster. Well, that's a luxury purchase. They're not hurting enough. They're not in pain and they want to run faster. Well, they could just, do something else. They could try it themselves. They could, Google a program online. To invest with you, that is a luxury purchase. People typically don't make that right away. Are they going to make it after 2 years of following you, 2 years of reading your content, or maybe 6 months of reading your content, 3 months of reading your content? Maybe, right? You give the proof in your blog, you give the proof on your website that you can get people results. They're reading that over time. They're probably going to invest with you. So we have to understand that sales cycles are very long. So to expect someone to buy something right away doesn't work. And that's why I want to jump into Google ads, Facebook ads. Because people ask and they're like, well, why would I not just get an ad? I genuinely just want to ask you, and you can reflect on this. When was the last time that you purchased physical therapy, acupuncture, chiropractic care, healthcare from an ad? When was the last time you purchased healthcare, anything healthcare related, from an ad? Most people are going to say, I never have. And then I'm going to say, exactly. No one is purchasing healthcare through ads. And the thing is you might get the every once in a while, like you're getting, people are targeting words in their area and they're getting seen more. But the thing is oftentimes when you see that sponsored label on Google, you scroll past it. Like, I do it a lot. I see there's a sponsored ad and I scroll right by. So understand, like, just because you throw ads behind it does not mean that it's going to help you in a large amount in the long run. I got to take a drink. I feel like after staying in the desert, I'm still not recovered. So with Google ads and Facebook ads and all the things, what that's really good for is getting awareness. So it's good at getting new leads to then dive into your content, to then hopefully invest in your services later on down the road. So I'm just going to say this out loud. How do you expect someone to dive into your content if you have zero content? Which is the value of SEO, right? And SEO School, I will pitch it shamelessly, teaches you how to develop content for your ideal niche so you can get found when your people are searching for you. And it tells you how to structure your content. It tells you how to get Google to even see your blogs, because believe it or not, it's not natural. Like, sometimes it doesn't happen and your blogs can't be found no matter how good they are. So that's like a big thing too, is like, I just want people to understand that getting an ad and running an ad, that's also not a guaranteed money in, money out type of thing. And the thing is for me, I'd always like people to capitalize on free stuff, aka SEO, free other than your time setting it up, before you throw money at it, right? Like, let's make sure the organic strategy is working before we throw money at something. So with all of that being said, I really, really, truly just feel like I want people to understand the value of SEO. SEO is not dead. AI is not going to, ruin SEO. If anything, it's making SEO, I want to say, people who are doing their SEO deliver better content, which is better for everyone. And it's really just, it's something that is compounding, and it's something that you have to work for. And it's not something that will be it's not instant gratification. That's not what it is. You will not see an instant ROI on something, and that's okay, right? Like, that's fine, because we are in it for the long haul. And I will tell you, the biggest red flag from me when I'm on a call with someone is that they want results right away. I will tell them straight up, don't work with me. Like, I don't want someone to be a part of my community thinking that I'm delivering right away results, instantaneous results for SEO, because that's not how it works. And I tell people that blatantly. I'm not going to let someone believe that. And I do say that if you go out and someone tells you they can instantly get you to number one, they're lying to you. And it's not a green flag behavior for me. So I really want people to understand, like, this takes time. And this is the value, in my opinion, of SEO School, because yes, there are people out there who have no interest in it. They don't want to do it. They would rather just pay me to do it. I am happy to do that. I'm 1000% happy to do it. I love doing it. I also have the people who really want to, take their admin time and become really proficient with tech stuff and doing their own SEO and writing content, what have you. That's perfect. And SEO School can definitely help. And I want to just reiterate the fact that you don't need to be techie. You don't need to know anything about SEO. I teach this course, I teach SEO School from the standpoint of a healthcare practitioner talking to healthcare practitioners. I understand that you're not in the tech field. I understand that most of the practitioners that I work with don't even have an admin. And I understand that most people come from a background of, I opened a business, I didn't go to business school. And I get it. That is 110% why I created this course, because most courses out there will teach you in a way that essentially makes sense for people who are in tech or marketing or have a marketing background. And I knew that that was not feasible for healthcare practitioners. And that's why I created SEO School. So it is a shameless plug, because I do feel like I get on too many calls where people say that they were, paying thousands of dollars a month for someone to quote unquote do their SEO, and they saw zero results. Yes, I understand that I'm not going to be able to tell you that 6 new patients came through your door, and that means that we have 6 new leads and that it's all because of SEO. That's not what I'm telling you. But what I am telling you is it's very easy to see if your SEO is working and if things are changing. If your stats are not getting better, or if there is no changes on your website, then there's an alarm that needs to be going off. Something is not right. So I just know that there are too many people I talk to who have been, taken to the cleaners with this, and I want you to be well informed. So I have a couple people who told me I am only taking this so that I know what people are talking about. And they have WordPress websites, they have Wix, they have Squarespace, what have you. They may even have a team that they're hiring or that manages their site, and they took it so that they can understand what can be done and what is being done for them and what they're paying for. And I think that's great. Amazing. If you leave this house, wow. If you leave this course more empowered to know what SEO is and what can be done and how it's helping you, or how another business is doing your SEO for you and what that means, that's great. That makes me very, very happy. So this episode will release tomorrow, which is Monday, March 4th. You have until March 15th, Monday, March 15th? I need to look at that. Sunday. I'm going to actually close, Friday, March 15th. I'm looking at April. That date is not even right. Friday, March 15th to get on the wait list. The wait list will close the weekend of Friday, March 15th through Sunday, March 17th. And then on Monday, March 18th, the wait list will get access to register for SEO School. Now, I am anticipating that seats will go pretty quickly this round. So if you are interested, I highly recommend you get on the wait list and you grab your seat when the course opens. I'm really excited about this. I know that there are a lot of people who have been telling me that they can't wait for it to open, and it will not open again until October. It'll be the same schedule that I've done last year as well. I really like the launch dates for this course and how it doesn't overlap too much with summer and Christmas and all the things. So it'll probably be late October, that I launch the next cohort. So if you don't want to wait until October, I would highly, highly, highly suggest getting in on this round. Okay. I think that's all I've got for you. I don't need to beat the horse dead. You understand ROI, you understand SEO, what it is, how it's valuable, getting eyes on your content, creating free content for people to binge when they do come across your website. And that's really all I want you to walk away knowing, that this is going to require effort. It is not something that I would consider easy. It's something that in the easiness for me, it's just, this means it requires effort. It's not a one and done. You have to write, you have to create content, you have to edit things. And you have to look at stats every once in a while, right? It's not just a one and done thing. And that's why for me, I'm easy means that I barely have to do it. That's what easy means to me. So you have to put effort in. And I want you to understand that and just take that away from this episode. And that sometimes we're not looking at a direct money in, money out, and we're paying for SEO. So we must have this X number of patient in there or come in. Sometimes it's just about getting more visibility, and then that visibility can then turn into money down the road, right? It's not always a direct ROI. Sales cycles are very long. And because I wouldn't be doing my job, I did have someone ask me, what is the cost of SEO School? So the wait list, it will be $797 and the regular enrollment will be $897. So you will save $100 by being on the wait list. And I also just want to say that if you have a typical cash-based practice, that means that your ROI can be met with one new patient. So I will shamelessly say that because that's how I used to measure how things cost. When I owned a clinic, I said, okay, I want to invest in this thing. How many new patients do I need to have in my door in order to make this work and to make the money back on this thing? And it is one new patient. So if that one new patient is worth a potential ROI of a crazy amount of patients in the future, then SEO School may be for you. So if you have questions about SEO School, let me know. I will put the link to join the waitlist in the show notes. But other than that, that's all I've got for you today. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next time.